The day I went vegan, I thought I'm never gonna have a good poutine again because so much of it was based on meat and cheese. And I've really spent the last couple of months testing recipes, testing different kinds of gravies, and just trying to find how I can make myself the ultimate poutine. And hopefully some of what I've learned along the way will be helpful to you in making yourself your most delicious vegan poutine. I'm not gonna talk about fries because fries are mostly vegan anyway, and we all know what we like. But what I really wanna do is talk about vegan sauces and vegan cheese. The thing that's gonna affect the flavor of your poutine the most is the sauce or the gravy. So I wanted to go through a couple of things because it's kind of a minefield when it comes to grocery store poutine sauce, and there's a lot of other better stuff available that's vegan. So let's start with this guy, Saint Hubert poutine sauce. Now this is available in a lot of grocery stores in Ontario and Quebec, at least. Not sure about the rest of the country, but in this form, in this little envelope packet thing, it is vegan. I double checked with the company, they said yes it is. But this guy, when I was a kid, this was the thing I ate most often as my poutine sauce at home. And it's vegan when it's in the envelope. I believe there's chicken fat in it if it's in the can, so avoid that one. Next up, if you're like me and you used to go to Swiss Chalet and use their dipping sauce as your poutine gravy, which is delicious, you can do that if you can find the canned version of the Swiss Chalet dipping sauce. So the canned version is vegan. There is nothing I can see on this ingredient list that is even questionable. It's just flavoring and spices. If you get it in the envelope, there's chicken fat in it. You gotta kind of remember that Saint Hubert is safe in an envelope and Swiss Chalet is safe in a can. For our gluten-free vegan friends, this gravy by Road's End Organics, which I've seen it in Walmart a lot. I got this at Good Rebel. I think it's in the organic section in Walmart generally. It's very chickeny-like. I often use this one on my Thanksgiving tofurkey, so it's pretty good. The thing with this one is this whole packet, which is about, I think, $2, is it's only 1 cup of gravy is made versus this one is like 2.5 cups. So it's a big difference price-wise. I think it's kind of doubling your money if you're going for this guy. But if you're celiac or gluten-free, then that's probably the way you want to go. If you're in a location that has Farm Boy, they have a couple of vegan gravies in envelope packets like that under the Farm Boy branding. One of them is the vegan brown sauce, and it is really quite good if you're really into like a beefy taste. So it's very much like something you would find on a roast beef. The packet's got a picture of poutine on it, and so you kind of think, well, this is what it's intended for, but I personally am not a big fan of that kind of really rich, meaty flavor. So now in the realm of meaty and gluten-free, we've got this guy here. So this is from Luda, and Luda is a mostly food service company, but they've been selling this vegan barbecue sauce, poutine sauce, on Amazon. This runs you about $20, which you think is expensive, but it's gonna make you about, I think, 20 cups. So it's not too bad. Ends up being about $1 a serving. I only use ever about a cup on my poutine when I make it at home. It is kind of a step down in meatiness from the Farm Boy gravy, but it is still pretty meaty. Finally, this tub. But when I was growing up and I first started eating poutine, I'm pretty sure Berthollet was the company supplying to a lot of the places that I went. They are a food service company, so you can only get it. I think there might be a slightly smaller version of this, but this box is 40 servings worth. So I think it's 10 liters. So it's a pretty good deal. I think, will I ever get through this? Probably not. But it's worth the effort, I think, to drown myself in sauce. Versus the Luda, I'd say it's more of an oniony taste, and I really find this satisfying, probably because I grew up with it. If you want, to me, what is that authentic casse-croûte taste, this is the guy to go with, Berthollet. They used to have a specific Berthollet vegan poutine sauce, but it seems like, I don't know if they discontinued that or just made this replace the main sauce. But I checked with the company, this is vegan. I went through every poutine sauce recipe I could find online, hoping that I could find something similar to the Berthollet, that flavor that I grew up with. What I found was that almost every place called for a mix of beef and chicken stock, and so I used vegan beef and chicken cubes, and they never came out good. And I don't think it's necessarily that the stock that I was using, because I tried many different brands. And the problem with those recipes is that they all call for either ketchup, barbecue sauce, or tomato sauce. And that adds kind of a sweetness to the whole sauce that I really, really don't like. So if you were ever a dairy eater and you went and got a poutine somewhere and you found shreds on your poutine, you were probably really disappointed, as I have been many, many times. And I know there's some great restaurants like Odd Burger that has shreds on it, and they've got good gravy and good fries, so I kind of forgive it. But you really want that. I mean, my dream is to one day have a vegan curd that squeaks like a real curd. And hopefully with all this new vegan casein that they're working on, that'll happen in the next year or two. But for now, our options are much more limited. So here are a couple of options, and the first of these is this Nefsika. These are little poutine cubes, and I was very uncomfortable with using these at first because they resemble so much of when I was a kid and I would run out of curds, I would cut up a block of cheese into little squares and use it, and this is what it looks like. If your sauce is hot enough, it starts to melt those cubes pretty quick, and you get something that's I think as close to the real thing as you'll get without eating dairy. I'm pretty sure that Farm Boy just repackages Nefsika's cubes and resells them. So if you're near Farm Boy, you can grab these pretty easily. Now here is something that's really more of a specialty, and it's open, so curds are gonna start falling out here, but it is from a place called Veg Cheese. Let's grab one of these. These look a lot like cheese curds. It's very curd-like in consistency. It doesn't have the squeak when you bite it. And they're very salty. These are pretty good when you throw them on top of your fries and you pour some sauce on. Give them a try. I like them. I probably don't like them as much as the cubes because it takes effort to go and buy these, where I can just go to a Farm Boy and get the cubes. Now, if you're in a pinch, you don't want to go looking and working to get your curds, what I've started to use is feta cheese. And I know it's not much difference than using shreds. The difference, I think, is that every once in a while you open one of these containers up and you get these nice big fat chunks of cheese rather than just crumbles. So it makes it a little more like cheese curds rather than having just shreds on your poutine. Give it a try. It's not bad. It's salty, but so are these, and still delicious. I got the idea to use the feta from trying these Plant Ahead feta cubes, and these were great. They're kind of gigantic, but it's almost like an upsized version of the Nefsika cubes. And finally, the closest thing to a curd probably is the Baby Bell vegan cheese, but they are quite expensive and you have to spend all that time peeling the wax off them. So they're great, but they're hard to find and they're a little pricey. I hope this was helpful. I spent a lot of time figuring this out because I love poutine and I want more people to have good poutine. And as vegans, we don't have a lot of option because our gravies are so limited, because our cheeses are so limited. But I think you could get a really satisfying meal if you put these combinations together. But I think the thing that's most important is to just find gravies that you like and use those. Find the curds that you like and use those. And you just gotta find the flavors that you love and put them all together.